Job Hunting 101.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first edition of Job Hunting 101. This is the first in the series of shows that will be giving some information regarding careers, getting a job, and keeping a job. My name is Dale Green, host of the program of this first in a series, as I said, and I work as a career manager for Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance. We're delighted to have on our show today two wonderful people who come from different walks of life, but they're in the business arena. Phyllis K. Timmons is the HR business partner at Raymond James, and we also have Terry Furr Hoskins, who has a very specific title. She's Vice President of People at Front Burner Brands. Welcome to our show. We're delighted to have you today. How are you both?
Thank you. Very well, thanks.
Well, you know, first impressions are everything, and I just wanted to get right into it in terms of, we talked about some models that we're going to have on the show, but I must say that you all make a very good first impression. Phyllis, you're in the business arena at Raymond James. You're in the business arena also, Terry, but you represent different products or different brands. How important, Phyllis, I'll ask you first, is it to make a good first impression when somebody comes in the door to apply for a position?
Well, the business that we are in certainly is a relationship business, so that first impression is extremely important. We really make decisions sometimes based on that first impression when they're coming in for an interview. So I think in my book, it's the first step, the first proactive step in getting the job.
Right. Yours is a conservative business. It's in the financial arena, so it's Tampa Bay's version of Wall Street. Exactly.
As a matter of fact, we are the premier alternative to Wall Street. We like to say that that is what we offer to clients, where you don't have to go with the big wirehouse firms. You can come to an independent, very conservative financial advisor firm locally.
There. Instead of Wall Street, it's right there on Caroline Parkway.
Exactly.
Terry, your brand, you represent the hospitality industry. People
do.
Have to, besides a lot of life necessities, folks have to eat, don't they?
They sure do.
Okay. And you have the brands that you have under the Front Burner umbrella would be the Melting Pot, Grillsmith, and Burger 21.
That's correct.
How's the business going?
Actually, the business is going very well. Burger 21 is a new concept to the Tampa Bay market, and it's expanding and doing quite well. So we're very pleased with our gourmet, chef-inspired burgers.
Right. How important to you are first impressions when you're hiring as the Vice President of People? You see people make the world go round.
They do. When people come into the hospitality industry, their first impression is it's more casual, and so I don't need to dress for this position. But that's a mistake. They need to make sure that they approach it from a professional business standpoint, and the ones that come in for management positions, we're looking for suits. We're looking for professional attire. So if you come in with that casual look, you know, no jeans, no sneakers, and we see some of that. And we try to coach and counsel people and say, it's better that you present yourself in a business environment, although we work in the hospitality world.
Right. I wanted to ask both of you to respond to this, and that would be, what if somebody overdresses? I mean, in other words, a three-piece suit with fedora, you know, the hat and the matching for a man rather, and a lot of jewelry. What's the norm in your arena, Phyllis?
I think initially, you know, that would discount the person if they came in the door dressed that way. First of all, it doesn't fit, you know, our conservative image. It's overkill, frankly.
Right.
And so I do believe that at that point we probably would not proceed further, because you know, how do you coach someone on that in the interview process?
Right.
You really can't. If they don't bring that in the door with them, or that understanding in the door with them, it's pretty difficult to give them that kind of feedback.
Right. And Terry, in your arena, the associates wear uniforms.
They do.
But still, getting past the first hurdle is very important. And the uniforms are just that. They are uniform. And how important is it that they again, make the best first impression in terms of not coming assuming that they have a polo shirt, khaki skirt, or khaki pants, that's not the look you're looking for.
Not
On a first
particularly.
step, yeah.
On the first interview, not particularly, because what we're looking for is someone that presents our brand and making sure that they have what it takes to be able to present that uniform that they have to wear. So they take pride in what they wear, and that shows in the interview process as well. That would show, they would carry that forward also in their day-to-day work when they show up for work. Because when you come in to a restaurant and you're looking around to decide, you know, am I gonna dine here tonight? And if a waiter approaches you, or a host or hostess approaches you, and their uniform is wrinkled or doesn't look appropriate, you know, that influences your decision of if you're going to dine or not. So we look for people that present that image to us when they want to join our organization, just as they present the image to our people, our guests that enter our restaurants.
Right.
So we're looking for that professional look all the time.
Great. Now, I don't want to go into a format where we're back and forth each one. We'll just have an open conversation, a very candid and friendly conversation. I wanted to find out about the second interview. Some people end up doing a second or follow-up interview, and sometimes they do a third interview, and then there are panel interviews. Let's talk about the second interview, how I guess you have to make notes and take notes of what to wear and what not to wear. Let's start out with the men in both of your work arenas.
You know, Dale, I don't think the second interview is much different than the first interview.
I agree 100%.
So you want to make another best impression.
Exactly, exactly. And I would also add, you know, even though Raymond James is a conservative firm and there is an image that we like to present, not all jobs are professional jobs. So there are some business casual
Such
jobs.
as the mailroom.
Exactly, the mailroom, or maybe the back office, if you will. And so the point I'd like to make here is that even though in your day-to-day work down the road you may not be wearing that business suit, the expectation is that coming in for the interviews, whether it's the first interview, the second interview, you know, you would wear that professional business suit in order to get the job.
Okay. Your take on this?
Oh, same thing. It doesn't matter if it's the first, second, or like you said, a panel interview, which sometimes we do. You may talk to several managers in the restaurant when you're getting hired. We still want to make sure that you maintain that same look and that same professionalism. So, yeah, there's really no difference. It's the same.
What are some, I want to get into some do's and don'ts. Let's start out with the men. What should they wear? What should they not wear? Let's go with what they should wear, first of all.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I think certainly a business suit, and in our environment, typically a white shirt, maybe a light blue shirt with a tie that really doesn't pop too much, that doesn't jump out too much. And I think there's one thing, and I've heard our executives comment on this with candidates, the shoes. A lot of people don't believe that their shoes are important, and I think some men don't believe that their shoes are important, but shoes truly need to be polished and shined in an interview. It's something that's easy to forget and not think about because you're sitting perhaps under a desk or under a table and people don't think, but you are also walking through the halls, you're walking into another executive's office, and believe it or not, we get feedback on shoes.
And so people, other associates, other managers are checking out the candidates head to toe.
Absolutely.
They really are.
Right. What are some of the do's for women? Definite do's.
For the women, it's a simple hairstyle. You know, nothing elaborate in your hair. You know, nothing with jewels or anything in your hair. Very smooth. You know, nothing real erratic. Simple makeup. You know, I would not use bright colors, anything real dramatic on your eyes or on your lips. Nails as well. I would keep those very professional. Color, you don't want your color, again, like she said with the tie, don't have it pop. You know, your nails should be there, but they should not be the focus point.
Clear.
Suit should be clear, would definitely be a nice choice. From the suit perspective, again, the grays, the blues, the blacks, and it doesn't have to be, you know, the matching jacket and pants. It can be, you can have a black and white pair of pants with a black jacket. That's perfectly fine. And for the blouse, you know, a nice white, crisp blouse, it looks very nice on an interview. And again, the shoes, that's important. Like she was saying with the men, closed-toed shoes is just more professional. It looks better. It's a better presentation.
Right. I once told a candidate who was homeless with her teenage daughters for a couple of weeks at the workforce, at Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, something about if you want that job for this major retailer, I had to actually tell her what to suggest what to wear. Navy blue suit, white blouse, no open-toe shoes, very conservative, and go over there and get and ask for the job. And she's been working at this, not to be named office retailer, for the past 5 years. That's a success story. And you all represent success stories. You have people who have been with the organization for, what are some of the tenures? Several years, several months? Give us an idea of some success stories that you know about.
Raymond James, of course, is a family-oriented firm that's been in the area for many, many years. And we have our tenure, you know, there's people that have been there for 35 years.
Right.
And I would call them success stories. And they are professional people that, you know, did not come in the door at the level that they've aspired to today. But I want to go back to your other question, because I think there's one entity that really hits both male and female, and that is, you know, the object of cologne. You know, one of the things, and I remember this back from my days at another financial services firm when people came in for interviews, if your cologne precedes you, then you've made a wrong choice. And so I think that affects both males and females. So it's something I wanted to put out there and make sure that everyone understood that.
It should too be conservative and subtle, just a hint of a scent.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's best to have none versus too much.
Sure, sure.
That's true.
What about, can you think of anything else in terms of what to and what not to wear? Because we talk about wear. I even want to talk about the handbags. We can get to that in another segment. How much jewelry and what you wear. Do you wear your cell phones with you? Probably not. I noticed that you all are in a business world and you have to stay in touch, but you're not operators standing by. You cut the phones off.
That's right.
And they're here in another part of the studio.
Yes, we have to. I mean, sometimes you have to do that. You have to focus your attention on what you're doing at that moment. For us, it's this. For the person that's interviewing, it's that actual, they want to get that job. So it's not about what that friend just texted you and that you need to respond to it. Put that phone away, turn it off. Don't just put it on vibrate. Turn it off, because, or leave it in the car. You know, don't even take it in, so then you're not even tempted. So it's best to stay away from it. Yeah.
Right. This is something that's related. We have a couple of minutes just more in this segment, but what if somebody says, Phyllis, I'm coming into you, I'm expecting a call from my daughter's school, and I would like permission to take one call just to respond whether I can pick my child up or not. What do you all think about that?
I think in that particular example, this is my personal opinion of that. Having been a parent, I understand that there sometimes is a necessity. I think that if there's a heads up on that, you have to understand it as an interviewer. You have to understand that there might be an emergency, that there might be some call, and especially if it's related to a child. I think that the good news there is someone telling you that up front. Because if something did happen that they needed to be reached, I wouldn't want to be responsible for them not being able to be reached.
Right. Terry, if somebody's wearing an earpiece, you know, I guess the Bluetooth or whatever, I mean, with all this equipment and something on the side here, that's all a part of what you're wearing.
Yes.
And that's not a good thing, is it?
It's not at all. Yeah. It's not at all. Some people even forget they have those earpieces attached. They just become a part of who they are. So yeah, it's not a good idea. Take it off, remove it, leave it outside.
Right.
Yeah.
We are going to continue our conversation with both of you because I think it's pretty interesting that we can pull some of these things out. We're going to get into some other things such as your first job, your journey, what did you wear, do you remember, that sort of thing. We'll be back with more of our series on Job Hunting 101 in just a moment.